that when Ajamil, who was a very sinful person and committed many sins throughout his life, when his time came, then the agents of the Lord of Death, known as Yamaraja, the agents known as Yamdutas, they came and to drag his soul out of the body. And it is mentioned that, yes, when one leads a very sinful or impious life, then their ending is miserable. But one who leads a righteous life, then for them, they go to the abode of Lord, and for them, death is an opportunity rather than something very miserable, an opportunity to reunite with the Lord. And all of life's teaching is only about death, to ultimately come to this understanding that dukhalayam ashashvatam, that this material world is dukhalayam. Dukha means misery and alayam means ocean. So this material life is ocean of misery. That is what it is described. Krishna mentions the four kinds of miseries: Janma, Dukkha, Jara, Vyadhi. Dukkha, Doshanu, Darshanam. So Janma means birth. So of course, we don't know that birth is miserable. But for the child, it's a very traumatic experience to be confined in the mother's womb for 9 months and lying there, in the pool of all kinds of obnoxious fluids that are in the belly of the mother, and gasping for breath, for air. And then the gastric fire of mother's body, it is said, burns the skin of the child, and the worms in there, they eat his skin, or her skin. And then the birth itself is very traumatic, that when the child goes through that experience, he loses consciousness. So actually more than death, scriptures describe, the birth is more miserable. Everyone is afraid of death, but worse than death, it is described as birth. Then the third kind of misery is described as Jara. Jara means old age. Old age is very miserable as well. First, there is invalidity. Invalid. Person is not mobile, is dependent on others. One only needs to go to aged care homes and see the reality. From outside we see TV advertisements where very nicely it is shown the elderly are very happy in there. One of my friends in Sydney actually works, he's an accountant for aged care facility. And he mentions actually life is very miserable. And he says in 1 month, you'll have 2 or 3 old people, they commit suicide. Because they've been abandoned by children, no one goes to see them, and they feel all alone. And then of course, they feel useless in terms of the body. The body is not able to cope up. And the mind, worst, is not able to cope up. Because so much mental anguish, depression, isolation, the person goes through. So apart from, of course, these 4, birth, death, old age and disease, these miseries of the mind, which is the worst, miseries of the that other living entities give us, and the miseries that come from the material nature. This is how the scriptures describe. So these 7 miseries are there, and it's very hard for a living entity to come out of it. Actually, scriptures describe that this material world, every living entity, as soon as it's born, is condemned to suffer and ultimately, of course, die. So it is described that Michamaya Bheshe Jacho Bheshe Kacho Habudu Bhai. That, excuse my Bengali, that due to illusion, the material life actually gives us great hope. You know, we see, okay, this is a place for enjoyment. We can become happy when we survey around us. Everyone thinks the other person is more happy. But if you scratch a little bit beneath the surface, you don't have to go very deep to find, actually everyone has their own battles to fight. Life is not such as honky-dory. So, the material world gives that hope of happiness. But Bhagavad Gita describes moghasha, mogha karmano, mogha jnana vichetasa. That hope to be happy and endeavor towards that happiness ultimately is defeated. The person's activity is ultimately defeated, karmano. And the knowledge, sense of knowledge, people philosophize and they come up with the reasons as to, no, everything's all right. That is also, it is said, defeated. So this mogha asha, mogha karmano, mogha jnana vicetasaha. Rakshasim asurim cheva prakritim mohinim shritaha. That the persons who do not question why this suffering is there. Now, in Buddhist philosophy, we know the history of Gautama Buddha, that he was kept in isolation from the rest of the world because there was forecast that this boy will take up the renounced order of life. And so his father did not want that to happen. He wanted him to be the king. But when Gautama, he went beyond the age of teenage, and once he ventured out from the palace, then he saw that a funeral going on and an old person is dead. So he asked his charioteer, what is this? The charioteer replied, oh prince, this is a dead body. This person has died. So he asked, what is death? He said, when a person grows old and no longer the body is fit for residence, the soul leaves the body. And that is what death is. Then the body becomes useless. So he asked, will I also die? He said, yes, one day we all will die. And so every day he used to see some scene, someone old, someone diseased, someone crippled. And he kept asking these questions. What is suffering? And then through that, he found the life to be futile. That we should search for the answer to resolve this problem. And that is what actually the scriptures tell us. Adhado Brahma Jignasa. Now is the time to inquire, why is this suffering there? And what is the solution to this suffering? So we were discussing last week that how Gajendra also, when he found himself in difficulty, he called out for the Lord because in his previous life he had done devotional service. But due to some offense, he got the body of an elephant. But he remembered his past life. And he remembered those prayers by the mercy of the Lord. And he offered those prayers to the Lord. And very nicely, he called out to the Lord, Ahedam Adipurusham Kilalokanata Tirtha Shravaha Shravana Mangala Namadhyaya. That, O Supreme Lord, you are Akhila Lokanatha. You are the master of the whole universe. And Tirtha Shravaha, you are the embodiment of the place of pilgrimage. Shravana Mangala, and hearing about you is auspicious. So when we hear about the nature of the material world and the solution to it, and about the glories of the Lord who extricates us out of the cycle of birth, death, old age and disease, then we come to reach this conclusion that Gajendra is. And what is that conclusion? Namadhyayaha. That chanting the names of the Lord is worthy. What is the most worthy thing in this world? Bhagavatam says, Tirtha Shravana Mangala Namadhyeya. Just chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The names of the Lord which are worthy of chanting. And today's topic that we wanted to discuss was second chance. So this picture tells the whole thing. That this person, although he was very sinful, but his son's name was Narayana. And Narayana is one of the names of the Lord. The Lord had many, many names. It is said, Nama Nama Kari Bahuda, Nijasarva Shakti. And in all those names, many, many energies of the Lord is invested. Because he was so sinful, when he was about to die, then the agents of death came, known as Yamdutas. And this picture is actually in the back of the book, Srimad Bhagavatam. And when devotees in America, they were doing book distribution and selling these books, in the street, one of the former army persons in US who was in Vietnam War, he saw this book and he saw the picture and he became astonished, and he started talking loudly to the person who was selling the book, and he said, I've seen these people. And he explained that his whole platoon was wiped out when the Viet Congs attacked. And he was there lying down. He had bullet through his body as well, but somehow he survived. And he said, my friend was lying beside me, and these people, the ones on your right, is it? Yeah. These people came and they took him away. And he became frightened just by seeing the picture. So when death comes about and one has not been pious, then it is said the Yamadutas, they come. And just by seeing them, the living entity becomes very, very frightened. This may actually sound very scary, but the scriptures give of this evidence. And so Ajamila, being a very sinful person, he became very frightened. But he had one good fortune, that his son's name was Narayana. And Narayana is also the name of the Lord. And he called out for his son in desperation, Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. He shouted. And immediately then the Vishnu Dutas, the 4 Vishnu Dutas, who are the agents of Lord Krishna, they came. And they forbade the Yamdutas from taking Ajamil. So there was like a mid-wicket conference, a debate going on between Vishnu Dutas and Yamdutas. Yamdutas saying, no, this person is very sinful, his account is no good at all. And so we have a rightful claim over him, and he will be taken to the abode of Yamaraj and punished. But the Vishnu Dutta said, no, he has chanted the name of the Lord, And because he has glorified the Lord, all his sins have been wiped out. And the Yamdutta said, that cannot be the case. He did not call out for the Lord, he called out for his son. But the Vishnu Dutta said, the name of his son is Narayana. But Ajamil chanted offenselessly. Offenselessly means that he did not have an intent of committing sin when he was calling out for the Lord. That is called chanting in abhas. Abhas means not being very attentive, not being with the intention of deliberately glorifying the Lord. Like sometimes we jokingly say, "Oh Jesus," right? That is greatest piety, because we have chanted the name of the Lord. "Oh Christ." If you are from, Indian background, is "Oh Krishna," "Oh Rama." It is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, "Apannaha samsmritim ghoram," that we are mashed in this samsmritim, this place of misery, ghoram, and it's very ghastly. So many problems are there. Someone has health issues, someone has family issues, someone has children issues, someone has parents issues, someone has boss issues, employee issues, government issues, issues of old age, issues of money, issues of being lonely. All these things are there. This is called ghoram, smrpratim ghoram. And one is constantly burning, shoka agninaha, in the lamentation of fire. So this apannaha samsrutim ghoram, it is said. And then it says, yan nama vivashogranam. Yan nam means the name of Krishna, or the Supreme Lord. Vivasha. Vivasha means helpless. Yeah, helplessly. "Oh Christ, oh Krishna," one chants. Then the scriptures say, "Tataha sadhyo vimuchyeta." Immediately, that name, vimuchyeta, liberates the person from that misery. Yan vibheti swayam bhayam. Even the fear personified is fearful of the Lord. So, again, the argument remains. But the intent was not there. He was not calling out the Lord, he was calling out the Son. But the Lord is absolute. And so everything connected to the Lord is also absolute. So the scriptures enjoin that the name Krishna and the person who is named Krishna, they are one and the same, they are not different from one another. For example, if we feel like eating pani puri, we say pani puri, pani puri, pani puri, pani puri, I'll say it properly, sorry. It's a tongue twister. But you keep saying pani puri, will your stomach will fill, will your tongue be satisfied? No. But when you call Krishna, when you call out Christ, when you meditate on Buddha, your immediate connection from heart to the Lord Super Soul, from soul to soul, is immediately established. Because abhinnatva nama namino, it is said. Abhinnatva means non-different. So this verse in Padma Purana mentions, it's a proof. Please repeat. Nama Chintamani Krishna. Nama Chintamani Krishna. So Nam means name. Chintamani means it's like a touchstone, a desire stone, that you put your hand on the stone and you desire, I want this. That desire becomes fulfilled. So the Lord's name is like that. So in every tradition, actually, we see in Christianity, in Muslim tradition also, we see that people carry some kind of beads or some kind of rosaries, like to chant the Lord's name on. Nama Chintamani Krishna. Because Lord's name, it is said, is like a desire fulfilling gem. And then Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha. And the Lord's name is Chaitanya. Chaitanya means that it is life. It is potent. Like at the moment you are able to hear me clearly because life electricity is flowing through the mic. The life electricity is flowing through the lights. But as soon as we switch it off, you can't see anything. So similarly, when you say Krishna, Krishna is not a dead person. It's not a person who's somewhat far. Krishna is not Pani Puri, that you just say and your stomach will be fulfilled. Krishna is fully potent and absolute. So he is life. So as soon as we say Krishna, Krishna is present. Rasa Vigraha. And then most importantly, the calling out of Krishna's name is very, very sweet. Like persons who have children will experience it. That, when the child is growing up, then the mother and the father, they are waiting for the moment the child will call, Mummy, Papa. And sometimes the husband and wife, they have this competition of whose name the child will call first. I know, like in our case, my son, although I was hardly at home, I was working and she was looking after him. But the first, amongst us two, the first he said is Papa. My wife was like, what? I'm saving him, I'm looking after him, and called out your name first. But guess what? When the child calls out the parent's name, the parents feel great joy. No matter for what reason, when the child calls out, a mother's name, a father's name, the parents feel great joy. So similarly, Krishna is the Lord of all the living entities. And when we, as children of Lord, call out Him, then He becomes very pleased. And to Him, His name, when we call out, is the sweetest thing. Like for a parent, when the child calls out the parent, out of love and affection, is very sweet for the parents. And the parents will go out of their way to do anything and everything for the children when that calling out is there. And Krishna's name is Vigraha. Vigraha means personification of Krishna himself. It's complete. His name is absolute, as we said. And Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto. And Krishna's name is Purna. Purna means complete. Nothing else is required. Sometimes we think, this ritual needs to be done, that ritual needs to be done, this kind of yagna needs to be done. Even when the yagna happens, the brahmanas who are true to the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, they tell that at the conclusion, at the start, and in the middle of the yagna, everyone sing Hare Krishna, isn't it? And then the brahmanas recite this mantra. What is that? Shukracharya says it. Mantratas tantratas chidram. That there may be fault in reciting of the mantras, following of the rules and regulations, there may be fault. Desha, kala, arga, vastubi, there may be fault in the place may not be pure, the direction may not be right. Arga, the person who was arga, what is arga? Paraphernalia. The paraphernalia may not be proper. You may not have complete paraphernalia. Sometimes, when we're doing arati, we realize, okay, we forgot to put the cloth and then we have to rush through. Sometimes even the cloth is not there. Vastu bihi. However, all these falls, sarvam karoti nischidram, anusankirtanam tava. All falls become faultless when the Lord's name is chanted. Even when we do arati, if just arati is done and the chanting of the name of the Lord is not there, that arati is not complete. It is not perfect. But even though there may be faults in doing the arati, and when singing of the glory of the Lord is there, that arati becomes perfect and complete. That's why, we have this arati procedure. Everything we chant Hare Krishna. Sarvam karoti nischidram anusamkirtanam tava. Samkirtanam means congregation chanting, like we have been doing since 4:30. If you can come at 4:30, that's great, because you have 1.5 hour opportunity to become absorbed in chanting of the holy names of the Lord. And this is the main form of religion for this day and age. And it is Purna. Purna means complete. Nothing else is needed. Purna Shuddho Nitya Mukto. And it is Shuddha. Shuddha means purifying. The names of Lord can completely wipe out our sins. So the Yamdutas were told by Vishnu Dutas that because Ajamil has chanted the name of the Lord, all his sins have been wiped out. This is called purifying. The Lord's name purifies supremely. And Nitya Mukto. And eternally the Lord's name is liberating. Because the Lord himself is liberated. He is not bound by anything. This morning we are looking Swarat. Swarat means the Lord is fully independent. We are dependent on everything. We are dependent on oxygen. If 3 seconds we stop breathing, we'll be gasping for air. But the Lord is fully independent. He is not dependent on oxygen, not dependent on water. He is not dependent on the sunlight. From him sunlight comes. Everything comes from him. And therefore he is eternally liberated. And guess what? One who is liberated can liberate us also from this misery and the cycle of birth and death. Therefore, it is very nicely said, Tesham maham samudharta mrityu samsara sagarat. That Krishna says to Arjuna, I am the swift deliverer from the cycle of birth and death. Bhavami nachirat partha maya veshita chetasam. That therefore, when my devotee becomes absorbed in me, maya veshita chetasam, his heart fully absorbed in me, I become the swift deliverer from the cycle of birth and death. Ever liberating. Tataha satyo vimuchyeta. That very moment when we say Krishna, the name liberates us. And then why all this happens? In the last line it explains. Abhinnatva nama namino. Abhinnatva nama namino. So bhinna means different. And abhinna means non-different. We say bhinna bhinna. Bhinna bhinna prakar ki sabjiyan lekar aao. Bring different varieties of vegetables. But abhinna means not different. So what is not different? Nama, namino. Nama means name and namino means the named. So the name Krishna and the person who is named Krishna, they are not different from each other. And that's why when we say Krishna, when we say Ram, when we say Christ, the Lord in form of name. The Lord is the name, is present. And therefore calling out the Lord is effective. Because the Lord is the name. It's not that the Lord has to come separately. No, the name itself. It is said, Guhyani Bhadrani. It is mysterious how this works. But Bhadrani, it is auspicious because it works. Abhinnatva nama namino. So, when the Yamadutas were defeated like this by Vishnudutas, then the Vishnudutas left Ajamil, and Ajamil had this conversation. His soul was out of the body, not inside, not outside. He was just hanging. And he was hearing this conversation of the arguments between Yamadutas and Vishnudutas. And finally, the Vishnudutas were victorious in this argument, because that is the truth. And the Yamadutas, helplessly, they went back to the abode of their supervisor, who is Yamaraj. And there they submitted to Yamaraj and said, we thought you were the supreme authority. You had the greatest jurisdiction. But we are finding that this person has defeated us. And then they asked what happened. And then Yamadutas related, all these 4 beautiful looking personalities came and they forbade us from taking this sinful person. And they told the whole account. He called out for his son, that he called out for his son, and but they said this name is the Lord's name. So then Yamaraja, who is the authority for Yamadutas, he started smiling. And he understood. And then he gave instructions to Yamadutas that actually those who chant the holy names of the Lord, we'll just read this passage from Srimad Bhagavatam. Please repeat. Everyone, if you can please move forward, there are more and more devotees coming. Please move right forward. Thank you so much. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Etan vaneva lokesmin. Pumsam dharma parasmitaha. Bhakti yogo bhagavati. Tannama grahanadivihi. Please repeat after me. Devotional service. Beginning with the chanting of the holy name of the Lord is the ultimate religious principle for the living entity in human society. So this is what Yamaraja says to Yamadutas, that love for God, beginning with chanting, is the ultimate religious principle. So at the start also we have to do this, at the end also we have to do this, because it's the ultimate. And then he goes on to say, my dear servants, just see how glorious is the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. The grateful, sinful Ajamil chanted only to call his son, not knowing that he was chanting the Lord's name. Nevertheless, the chanting holy name of the Lord, he remembered Narayana, and thus he was immediately saved from the ropes of death. And then Yamaraja goes on to say, Etavata namaga nirharanaya pumsam that etavatalam, only up to this point, this much is needed. Agha means sins. Niraharanaya pumsam, all the sins are taken away completely. How? Samkirtano bhagavato guna karmanam nam. Samkirtanam, by the congregation chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Bhagavato. And his guna, his qualities. Now, how merciful the Lord is, how beautiful the Lord is. Karma, how wonderful his activities is, especially of delivering his devotees. Nama, and how sweet his names are. And then he gives the proof. What was the proof? Vikrushya putra magavan yadajamilopi. Vikrushya. He is crying without offense. Only condition is that without offense we call out the Lord. But he was calling not the Lord, his son, Putram. Putram means son. Vikrushya Putram. And he was Aghavan. He was full of sins, this person Ajamil. But nonetheless, Narayanaya iti mama iyaya muktim. But because the Lord's name is non-different from the Lord, Abhinnatva nama namino. The name of the Lord and the Lord himself are one and the same. And that's why when we call Krishna, Rama, Narayana, Christ, whatever name, it acts. It is complete, it is purifying, it is liberating, it is alive. It is not dead, it is powerful, and it can fulfill the innermost yearning of our heart. And the innermost yearning of the heart of a living entity is to be loved. That's all we are looking for in this world. We are looking for love. But we are placing our faith and investing our focus and energies into other mortal beings who may reciprocate, but they are not able to fully reciprocate. But when that love is reposed onto the Supreme Lord Krishna, who is all able, in Sanskrit it is said, he is samartha. He is all able. Then he is able to reciprocate to that love and nourish our hearts, nourish our souls, and nourish our being in this material world. And finally, extricate out of this material world. And when Yamraj explained this, that this is the highest religious principle, just chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. That how even a sinful person like Ajamil, as we see, he was about to be taken by the agents of death, he was saved. And he didn't even mean to address the Lord. So if the name of the Lord is so powerful, then isn't the chanting the name of the Lord worthy? And this is what Gajendra says, that Tirtha Shravaha Shravana Mangala Namadhyaya. Therefore, O Krishna, chanting your name is worthy. And if you want perfection in our lives, then we have to undertake this process of chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. So today we all have this opportunity. What we will be doing, you can distribute the beads. So we have got these beads on which we can all together chant this mantra. And we can do it all together in congregation. So actually today's program has been sponsored by our good friend Jane, who is here amongst us, in memory of her former father-in-law, Dayal Motumal Sambhwani, and I've known him because he's the father of my god sister Radhika Mataji and Devki Prabhu. And he was about 3-4 weeks ago diagnosed with cancer. And it was so quick that within a period of 3 to 4 weeks, when he was diagnosed, he left his body. But throughout his life, he was very pious. And in 90s, he served the Singapore temple very generously. And he was very generous in giving regular donation to the temple and supporting the Hare Krishna Yatra in Singapore, in Dwarka. And he left the world as he was chanting and hearing the names of the Lord very peacefully. So a wonderful departure. Is there more beads? Yeah. Just check. There must be more beads. So, for everyone who's newcomer, you should have a bead coming to you. If you are a devotee already, please pass on your beads to someone new. But even if you don't have beads, just hear and chant. And the results of this chanting will offer to the departed soul, Dayal Motumal Sambhwani Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Yeah, just give it some. So we'll get more beads in due course of time. So the beads, I'll just quickly show you. This is called the head bead. So you can start from there. Between your thumb and 2 fingers, the pointing finger, leave it out of it. It's regarded as an offensive finger. And we can chant, so one mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And you move to the next beat. And then same, we do it. So in this way, we are chanting and we are hearing the name of the Lord. Actually, in our practice, we do it 16 rounds we chant. So chanting, there's 108 beats. So 108 times 16 we do as our daily practice, calling out for the mercy of the Lord. So before we chant that, we'll seek the blessings of the inaugurator of this chanting. Please repeat. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So we can chant together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Just one thing, sorry, just one thing. If you are not chanting, let me be warned that Yamaraja says to Yamadutas to bring 5 kinds of persons to him. This is a lot of death. So he says, Jivva na bhakti bhagavad gunanam adhyayam. And one of those persons is that Jivva from his tongue, na bhakti, does not chant, bhagavad gunanam adhyayam. The qualities and the names of the Lord. And wherever the chanting is going on, it is said, the secretary of the Yamdutas and Yamaraj, they look who's chanting, who's not chanting. So let us not be a candidate to be taken away by the agent of death. Rather, let us chant nicely. We'll start again. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, thank you so much for such wonderful, nice vibrations of the holy names of the Lord. And we offer the piety of today's session and the chanting of the holy name to the departed soul, His Grace Sanwani Prabhuji. And now let's pray that he finds soothing shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Radha and Krishna. We can all rise up for the Aarti, and thereafter we'll have some announcements and honor Prashadam. Hare Krishna.